negatives of having a single cab. What you need to know is that most likely they'll have a work truck interior, meaning nothing convenient, very kind of, I won't say boring, but kind of plain instrument cluster, whole dash in general, vinyl floors, high possibility in single cabs. So obviously, and then also obviously you have a lack of family seating. Best case scenario, you've got a bench across the middle, you can seat 3, so that's 2 adults or 3 adults or 2 adults and 1 child, you know, so, or 2 childs. But even regardless, even way, no matter who's in here, it's going to be tight if there's more than 2 people. So that's something to think about. But that's the reason why single cabs are avoided for the most part. People can't afford 3 and 4 vehicles because of insurance costs, usually, because insurance is absolutely ridiculous right now, and everybody's so sue happy. Another minor thing is if you're on a road trip and if you're by yourself, it's fine, but if you're on a road trip with other people, 1 or 2 other people in here, there's not going to be any space for your stuff. So if you do need to stop and grab a snack, grab something out of your bag, whatever, you have to stop the truck, walk around and get it. Just a little bit inconvenient. Not to mention, unless you've got a topper or some kind of cover, your stuff's getting wet. So, in a lot of ways, a single cab is not practical in that sense. One thing to consider also is if you've got a diesel, whether it's stacked or just straight pipe, you do get, I think, more drone than you would otherwise, because my ears are closer to the the vents that are behind here. They're relatively close to me, and so that exhaust, I'm listening to that pipe right down there. That's right now a straight pipe, so it's just kind of annoying at times. Now if this was a 4-seater or a crew cab, it'd be another 3 foot back. I might not hear it as bad. Video is sponsored by bras250.com. You want a bike? Hop on there, get one. Now as far as positives, I would say, like, there's quite a few actually to having a single cab. One, if you like to go fast, if you're going to build a muscle truck, single cab is the way to go for being the lowest weight. This is a diesel with an Allison, and it weighs 6,000 pounds. No other diesel on the market that's a 3/4 ton or above is going to be around 6,000 pounds unless it's another stripped down work truck model 3/4 ton. All this extended cabs and crew cabs are going to be a good bit more. Easy to park. This thing has a 131-inch wheelbase. 131-inch wheelbase is roughly the same as a Suburban. I think my Suburban's 130, or 129 or 130. So, I mean, if you can park a Suburban, you can park this in the same spot. And that's important because a lot of people daily drive their trucks. And with a trailer, no matter what, parking is an issue. But definitely, with it's empty, a lot of people do that. Really not too bad in this truck. I don't know what the actual turning radius is. I've never measured it, but as far as trucks go, it's definitely better than the extended cab short bed that I had before this, that red truck in previous videos. Another perk I would say is that you can't have people in here, and I say that for the younger people who are in high school and college. A lot of times, all the friends want to ride together and everybody wants to climb in, but and they usually go towards the vehicle that can seat everybody. But the problem is, if it's a lot of driving or if it's a regular thing, the other people, the passengers, don't want to give some gas money to help out. So the owner is usually just stuck with it. And fortunately, I remember doing that, or being that guy in my college time. So if everybody knows you've got a single cab, it's already like, oh, we can't fit, let's not take him as the driver. drive-throughs. I can take this truck through any drive-through. I have never met a drive-through that I cannot fit through. I have some that are tight. I've been in some that are pretty tight, and if I had a long bed or a crew cab long bed, if I had a dually, wasn't happening. I barely made it with this. Definitely it was meant for cars and SUVs and not trucks at all. But I can take this through any drive-through. And a lot of people who own trucks are on the road a lot, so sometimes drive-throughs do save you some time. Another thing is full weight capacity. So every vehicle has a GVWR, right? Every truck, what's the weight rating? On this truck, it's 9,200 pounds. Now, if I have, and I've measured it at the scales, I weigh 6,000, so I have roughly 3,200. I'm 200 pounds personally, and so let's just say I have a square 3,000 pounds of stuff that I can carry. Now, if I have an extended cab, or if I add other things, more features, everything adds weight. And so the more weight I have, the less capacity I have, because if I have this truck in a crew cab short bed, it's gonna weigh more than a single cab. So it might not be much, might only be 200 or 300 pounds, but if you're talking legally, when you get in an accident or if you work your truck and you got DOT stuff, I mean, a couple 100 pounds could be the difference between a huge fine. So that's kind of a minor thing. Really, if you're on a farm, not a big deal, because you just do whatever your truck can do. But something to consider if you use your truck for business anyway. You get the full weight capacity. And the last thing is that I would say the best part about a single cab compared to the other ones is that it's cheaper to own. Because simply for the fact there's not that much stuff in here to break. I mean, I've got manual, super simple manual windows, manual locks. I only get one door panel. That means only one speaker. I got a dash, same as every vehicle. I got a little bit of floor. It's usually vinyl, super easy to just wipe down. No truck is simpler to fix, maintain, and to restore, if that's what you're doing, than a single cab. And I think that's why when we go back to like the 70s, when we were repairing the classic trucks, they're always single cabs. Maybe back in the day, that's what most of the trucks were, but still, you got a little short headliner, a couple plastics, and 2 seats. It don't get much easier. So overall maintenance, definitely easier on a single cab versus the bigger ones. And also cost. It's just cheaper to buy because it's simpler. Because it's less space, it makes it less desirable to most people, so it's cheaper. Like I'm gonna have trouble probably selling this one for what I think it's worth, just because people don't want a single cab. And we'll see about, eventually I'll find the right person who wants a single cab, and so I'm not too worried about it, especially being a Duramax. Then have a single cab, the interested amount of buyers, when you go to sell it, it goes down quite a bit. 2 other things I'd like to mention. One in terms of positives, one thing also that's good is blind spots. In a single cab, it's real open. You don't really have a blind spot. You can see, obviously, use your mirrors and see your whole bed side. You can look back this way and see, right over the side of the bed. Looking that way, I mean, you got real easy to see the whole side of the truck. Really, the only blind spot is if somebody's sitting on the ground behind the bumper, really, and that doesn't happen too often. So blind spot, I'd say, is very good on a single cab compared to almost any other car you could drive or vehicle you could drive. Another thing for trailer pulling, you can see your whole bed right here. So if you've got that gooseneck or that fifth wheel, probably about as easy as it gets to hook up, because you can see exactly where you're pulling your stuff to, and you don't need any extra help to line you up or anything, or you don't need any 2 or 3 tries to get it perfectly square. You just turn around and look. So my thoughts on single cab life. I've got here, this is an 01 Sierra. Good truck. If you're looking for a single cab, definitely would recommend one of these. I got no real complaints with it, other than the engine, which is because it's diesel. But if you take away the engine, suspension, brakes, interior parts aren't that much, and like I said, easy to fix. You can do it. You can rebuild the whole interior in a day, no problem. If you have everything on hand, ready to go. So these are my thoughts after 30,000 miles on this truck. I bet this is my daily driver for 30,000 miles. All of 2019, I drive about 70 miles a day. So, something to think about. I've done some towing, done some hauling, mainly just empty driving. So, single cab works for me. Doesn't work for everybody, but in case you were wondering about getting one and you've never owned one before, hopefully this video helps you out.